Manikantan from Tamil Nadu could go up to 29 feet, but all it encountered was stone, plastic and mud. Now, the robotic arm was utilized to remove all that. However, the NDRF personnel have decided that, the best option would be to go ahead by digging a tunnel, sending one of their personnel inside and then saving this little girl. Now, as of now, no one knows the condition of this little girl. Oxygen is still being pumped inside, and it's all about trying to get or reach her, get to her as fast as possible. More than 37 hours have passed by. The injuries she has suffered, no one knows, but considering that she has actually fallen head first inside, it could be severe head injuries, spinal cord injuries, fractures, internal injuries. Well, everyone's really hoping that she survives the ordeal, but no one's saying anything about her condition as of now, just that doctors are present and everyone's hoping against hope that she actually survives this ordeal. There you can see JCBs being utilized to remove the mud after the cutters have actually started their work of digging the tunnel or drilling through this tunnel. It's completely made up of rocks. This is what is actually creating havoc for them. This is what is delaying most of the rescue work. Now, this is the standard operating procedure followed by rescue personnel. The borewell is about 10 feet away. They've dug this ditch, which is again 10 feet away. And now they have gone ahead with drilling through the tunnel. For about 5 to 6 feet, they will utilize the driller, and thereafter it will be manually. Now, that is what will take a lot of time, considering the fact that it's granite stones, it's a very rocky terrain. They've been struggling in the first place to drill, basically cut through the rocks. How long will it take for them actually to manually cut through the rocks is the big question. It can be hours, it can be a full day, it can be 2-3 days. But a specific time frame is still not being given. Now, the NDRF personnel had spoken to my colleague over there, Akshata, and he was telling her that on Tuesday evening, when the district administration informed the NDRF about this, they actually asked them first to start pumping oxygen and start digging 10 feet away. That is the standard operating procedure. Now, yesterday when they arrived at around between 10 and 11, the first thing they did was utilize a victim location camera. It was sent down. It reached about 29 feet. And that's how they understood that this girl should be somewhere between 30 and 31 feet and that there is about 1.5 to 2 feet of debris on top of her. The robotic arm was actually utilized to remove most of the debris, but they've still not been able to reach the girl or see anything or see her. Till 4:30, they actually went about with that work. The NDRF personnel have also stated that the doctors have asked them to remove as much as debris on top of the girl first. This is the most important, so that the oxygen can actually seep through. She can somehow get some oxygen to breathe, because with the mud all on top of her, no one knows for sure whether all the oxygen that has been pumped in over there has been reaching her. They have to also be very careful, because they do not want the vibrations to damage or affect the stability of this abandoned old borewell where she's stuck in. Furthermore, the NDRF officer had stated that it was never their plan to utilize the robot to actually pick her up, even if she was alive. Well, hope slowly fading over there, but the NDRF and rescue personnel will not stop till they actually get her out, dead or alive. Well, in fact, we'll now slip into a short break, but on the other side, we will speak to my colleague Akshata, who's right there in Bijapur, and she'll give us all the information as to what's really happening over there. Welcome back to News9. Now, your channel has been tracking what all is happening over there ever since this little girl fell into the open borewell on Tuesday evening at around 7:30. Operations or rescue operations began at around 8:45. And they have not stopped till then. Now, to know what's happening over there and get an update on the situation, I'm joined in by my colleague Akshata. She's right over there. Akshata, take us through what exactly is happening and show us how exactly the officials are going about with this work.
Right Nolan, sweltering heat out here in Bijapur, but the rescue officials going on with their work. There so many of them here, about 35 of them here, and the work is continuing. You can see that there's almost a significant progress almost every hour. In fact, just if you look in there, you can see that the driller is still going ahead and going and drilling in there, and you can see that the depth now has definitely increased horizontally as well. They've made quite a bit of progress. You can also see, Nolan, that they're ensuring it's not just a small tunnel, but they're ensuring that they go ahead and drill all around. So is that intentional? Is that to ensure that they cover the entire ground? Is something that is still being speculated upon. But what we have to also keep in mind is that the officials will be going down there manually. That could take some time, and as I was telling you earlier as well, they will be using a drill that they were not using yesterday to push through that. They realize that they need a very, very powerful drill to get through this kind of granite, because it's almost slabs of granite that are there present, and even with this machine you can see that it is taking quite a bit of time. They are having to drill through that, then the JCB comes in, takes it all out, creates a slope so that the other machine can also go in. But there is a significant drop out there, and just like last night, of course, they will be putting a fire ladder down, climbing down about 3 of them. They start scooping up all the debris, which will include those big stones, and right after that they will go ahead and continue to dig that tunnel. The question is, of course, whether with the fact that the drill is now a new one, a more powerful one, will they be able to do it a lot more easier? It looks like it could take quite a bit of time, could go on till evening, Nolan, is what the speculation is. The NDRF personnel are refusing to comment on exactly how long it will take, knowing full well, of course, that they cannot promise anything, considering that they themselves don't know whether this time around it will be successful. So we will have to wait and watch to see if at least today Akshata can be brought out, and of course they are trying to take all sorts of steps. They have, of course, kept those oxygen tanks on top, but to a great extent it is being said that the oxygen is not able to reach Akshata as such, so they are starting to also clear the debris there, which is what we saw last night when they used that robotic arm. They decided not to pull her out using that, considering they don't really know exactly what kind of a position she is in and whether in fact she is hurt or not. So they are in fact removing that mud to ensure there is a good circulation of air. In fact, Nolan, we did witness that they put a shade over that to ensure that the sun did not get in today. They haven't really done that, so it leads to a lot of questions whether in fact they want a little sunshine to go in, but also at the same time, will that not make the heat worse? But it looks like they've decided not to go ahead and put that shade up, but keeping water on standby, keeping food on standby. There are ambulances on standby as well, so the NDRF officials are hoping that they will be able to rescue Akshata as soon as possible, Nolan.
Now, what about her parents? Are they still standing over there? And about the residents of the area, because yesterday we saw a whole lot of them surrounding this place. Are they all still there?
Well, the number of people have definitely come down, Nolan, no question about that. Yesterday there was a huge crowd. The police is struggling to go ahead and control them. But if you actually see that house there is the house of Akshata. You can see it's of course right behind that particular borewell. That's where her family resides, and that's where they are currently. You can see that a number of family, friends and relatives have seated themselves there and are watching the rescue operations from there. Earlier today as well, we noticed that the family, her mother was sitting there with her head in her hands, praying that of course her daughter be found alive. But you can see, compared to yesterday, the crowd has reduced, but we have to see of course through the day if that changes, if more people do come out. A lot more officials here today than yesterday. It looks like they have come together to decide exactly how they're going to go about this. But with regards to the localites, more than anything else, Nolan, a lot of people had come together simply because they were curious as to what has happened. All of them have come down here now. There are not as many people as they were yesterday. So it looks like that number has drastically come down. Maybe also because hope is slowly fading. With more and more time, the heat is becoming worse. So a lot of localites deciding to head back home. In fact, half of Bijapur was literally here yesterday. Today, nothing like it. But we will have to see through the day if more crowds do gather, because that could, in fact, affect the rescue operations. We saw that yesterday because a lot of them do come in the way of the digging. They are curious. They come and stand close by. The police had to also, in addition to supervising the the operations, also ensure that the crowds did not intervene or do not come in the way of the rescue operations, Nolan.
Right, Akshata, thank you very much for all those details. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates every hour till this little 4-year-old girl is rescued by the NDRF and other rescue personnel present over there. There you can see a brand new cutter being brought in over there to actually help in digging this tunnel as fast as possible. Time is of the essence. They're somehow trying to do so for about 6 feet, we're told. The distance between the borewell and the ditch is about 10 feet, to about 5 to 6 feet. They will use this cutter, and thereafter the NDRF personnel will go about this work of digging the tunnel manually, and that will take a lot of time.